Welcome to Eduseeds. I'm Maya, and I'm looking forward to walking you through our teaching approach. For over a decade, Eduseeds has been a trusted solution provider for academic institutions, offering a comprehensive curriculum for learners from grade 1 through grade 10. Our framework is built on STEAM, science, technology, reading, engineering, arts, and mathematics. By combining rich multimedia and interactive lessons, we aim for optimal learning outcomes and prepare our students for the Cambridge IGCSE. I'm happy that you chose to journey with us. At Eduseeds, our mission is to empower educators and learners for success through an adaptable and personalized curriculum. We are dedicated to nurturing leadership attributes and inspiring the kind of creativity that fosters true transformation and innovation. We hope that after this training, you are not just a teacher, but an educator empowered to raise our children to become the leaders of tomorrow. Well, it's one thing to talk about a mission, but it's another to live it out in the classroom. That's exactly what this Level 1 certification is for, to give you the practical tools to turn those goals into reality. Before we begin, you should have your certification worksheet ready. We'll be filling this out together as we go, so keep your pen handy. Let's begin with Section 1 of your worksheet, Mastery. Before we go any further, I'd like you to pause for a moment. What does mastery really mean in your classroom? At Eduseeds, mastery does not mean rushing through a textbook or completing a syllabus as quickly as possible. Instead, it means ensuring that every student develops a secure and confident understanding before moving on. In other words, progress is driven by understanding, not by speed. For us, mastery is built on 4 key pillars: clarity, consistent practice, patience, and learning from mistakes. These 4 elements work together to ensure depth of learning rather than superficial completion. Let me illustrate this with a simple classroom example. Imagine a student, let's call him Alex, who has just completed a self-test on fractions. Alex scores 60%. Now, I'd like you to think honestly. In a traditional classroom, what often happens next? Very often, the response is, "That's good enough. Let's move on to decimals so we don't fall behind." At Eduseeds, however, we take a different approach. First, clarity. Instead of moving on, you sit with Alex and identify the exact point of confusion. Is it simplifying fractions? Is it finding a common denominator? We do not guess. We diagnose. Next, consistent practice. Once the gap is clear, you provide a small number of carefully selected questions. Not excessive homework, not repetition without purpose, just enough practice to reinforce the correct method and build confidence. Then, patience. You allow Alex time to think, to attempt, and even to struggle slightly. You resist the urge to rush him to the correct answer because struggle, when guided, is part of learning. Finally, learning from mistakes. When Alex makes another error, you do not simply mark it wrong and move on. Instead, you address it constructively. You might say, "I can see what you were trying to do here. This is a common mistake. Let's look at how we can approach it differently." In this way, mistakes become learning opportunities, not failures. By the time Alex moves on to the next topic, he is not just someone who has completed fractions. He is a student who feels confident, secure, and ready. Now let's bring this back to you. Please look at your worksheet. You will see the sentence. In my class, mastery looks like... Take a moment to think about your own version of Alex. What would mastery look like for that student in your classroom? How will you know they are truly ready before you move on? Regardless of time pressure, write your response down now. Great. In this section, we are focusing on stream thinking and how it functions as a daily questioning habit at Eduseeds. This section of your worksheet is not testing knowledge. It is asking for a clear teaching commitment. STREAM stands for science, technology, reading, engineering, arts, and mathematics. At Eduseeds, STREAM does not mean teaching multiple subjects at the same time. Instead, it refers to a way of thinking that applies across all lessons. Stream thinking encourages students to explain their reasoning, connect ideas, and apply understanding. This supports mastery because mastery is shown when a student can explain how and why an answer makes sense. To understand how this looks in practice, consider a simple classroom example. A student completes a mathematics question and gives the correct answer. Instead of saying correct and moving on, the teacher asks, "Tell me your reasoning." The student explains the steps they used. Through this explanation, the teacher can immediately see whether the student understands the method or has guessed correctly. This same approach applies in all subjects. The purpose of the question is not the subject itself, but the thinking it reveals. Now, let us connect this directly to your worksheet. In Section 2 of your Level 1 worksheet, you are asked to choose one stream prompt you commit to using daily. You are not choosing all 3 prompts and you are not rotating them. You are selecting one question that you will intentionally ask in every lesson. The 3 stream prompts listed are: tell me your reasoning. What's another way to solve it? Where do we see this in real life? All 3 prompts are equally valid. There is no correct or incorrect choice. What matters is consistency. As you choose your prompt, think about your teaching context and ask yourself, which question will I realistically use every day? Which prompt will help my students explain their thinking most clearly? Once you have decided, write only that one prompt in the space provided in Section 2 of your worksheet. You do not need to explain your choice. Writing the prompt itself completes the task. This commitment signals to your students that explanation and reasoning are expected in every lesson. Take a moment now to choose your prompt and write it down. This completes Section 2 of your Level 1 worksheet. Hello, teachers. Let us now move into one of the most important parts of Eduseeds teaching. This is the 3M pedagogy. Everything we do in class fits into 3 simple responsibilities: manage, monitor, mentor. If you ever feel unsure about what to do next in a lesson, I want you to remember this. Do not panic. Do not improvise. Come back to the 3Ms. Let us explore them one by one together. Manage, structure, and clarity. Let us start with manage. Managing is what you do before learning really begins. It is about structure, clarity, and direction. Think about the start of a lesson. Students walk in, some are focused, some are tired, some are unsure what is coming next. If we do not manage this moment clearly, confusion appears very quickly. Now, imagine you say this to your class. Today, our learning goal is to solve 2-step problems. You will work independently for the first 10 minutes. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain how you reached your answer. Notice what happened. You did not teach yet. But students already feel more secure. They know what they are learning, they know how they will work, they know how long they have. That is manage. When we manage well, behavior issues reduce and learning time increases. Now pause for a moment. Look at your worksheet section 3, under manage, structure, and clarity. I want you to write one thing you will always do at the start of class. Something practical, something you can commit to every lesson. Pause the video and write your answer now. Monitor evidence and progress. Let us move to the second responsibility, monitor. Monitoring is not asking students, "Do you understand?" Most students will say yes, even when they do not. Monitoring means checking learning using evidence. Picture this. Students are working independently. You walk around the room, you look at their written work, you notice patterns, you notice who is confident and who is stuck. Now, imagine saying this to a student. I can see from your working that you understand the first step. The sign change is where we need to focus next. This is monitoring. You are not guessing. You are responding to evidence. This helps you decide what to reinforce, what to practice again, and what can move forward. Now pause again. Look at your worksheet. Under monitor evidence and progress. Write one thing you will always check for evidence of learning. It could be work-shown explanations or self-test results. Pause the video and write your answer now. mentor support, and growth. Now let us talk about the third responsibility, mentor. Mentoring happens when learning becomes difficult. A student looks at their page and stops. They say, "I do not get it." At Eduseeds, this is a very important moment. We do not rush, we do not pressure, we do not give the answer immediately. Instead, we mentor, you might say. Tell me which step you feel confident with so far. Or, let us break this into one smaller step together. This kind of language tells students, it is safe to struggle. Mistakes are part of learning. Thinking matters more than speed. Mentoring builds independence and confidence. Now pause for the last time. In this section, look at your worksheet. Under mentor support and growth, write one phrase you will use when a student struggles. Choose words that are calm, supportive, and encouraging. Pause the video and write your answer now. Take a moment now to write your answer now. This completes section 3 of your level 1 worksheet. Teachers, before we move on, let us connect this section to what you have just completed. In section 3, you worked through the 3M pedagogy: manage, monitor, and mentor. Those 3 responsibilities guide how you think and respond during a lesson. Section 4 now turns that thinking into visible actions that must happen in every Eduseeds class. This section answers a simple but important question. If someone walks into your classroom at any moment, what should they always see happening? At Eduseeds, there are 6 non-negotiables. These are not preferences or teaching styles. They are expectations that apply to every lesson, every subject, and every teacher. Look at section 4 on your worksheet. As we go through this together, you will be ticking boxes to confirm your commitment. At the start of every lesson, you clearly state the learning goal. Students should know what they are learning, not just what they are doing. This gives purpose and direction to the lesson from the very first minute. Alongside this, you always give a clear time expectation for tasks. When students know how long they have, they feel more secure, they focus better, and they manage their effort more effectively. You also ensure that students attempt the task independently before help is given. This thinking time is essential. It allows students to engage, try, and reveal their understanding. Without an independent attempt, there is no meaningful evidence to respond to. As the lesson continues, you ask for reasoning, not just answers. Correct answers alone are not enough. By asking students to explain how they arrived at an answer, you uncover their thinking and identify misconceptions. This naturally leads you to refer to evidence when responding. You use work shown, self-tests, or module results to guide your feedback rather than guessing or relying on instinct. Finally, when a student struggles, you respond using mentor language, not pressure. At Eduseeds, struggle is not a problem to eliminate. It is part of learning. Your language remains calm, supportive, and specific. You guide students through the thinking process rather than rushing them or giving answers too quickly. Now, pause for a moment and look at your worksheet. Tick each box honestly. These 6 actions must happen in every lesson. Together, they ensure that manage, monitor, and mentor are not just ideas, but daily practice. Once you have completed section 4, you are ready to move forward. In the next section, we will apply these non-negotiables by designing your first 5 minutes of a lesson, the moment that sets the tone for everything that follows. Now that we have completed section 4 and clarified the Eduseeds non-negotiables, it is important to focus on where those expectations are first established in a lesson. This brings us directly to section 5, which looks at the first 5 minutes of teaching. At Eduseeds, the first 5 minutes of a lesson matter most because they set the tone for everything that follows. This is not about controlling students or rushing into content. Instead, it is about creating clarity, structure, and a calm learning environment from the very beginning. When students enter a classroom, they naturally want to know what they are learning, how they are expected to work, and how long they need to stay focused. If these questions are not answered early, confusion develops, and confusion often leads to disengagement or behavioral issues. For this reason, we refer to the first 5 minutes as the manage moment. During this time, the teacher is not yet delivering subject content. The teacher is managing the learning environment by clearly stating the lesson goal, explaining how students will work, and setting a clear time expectation. This routine connects directly to the manage component of the 3M pedagogy and reinforces the non-negotiables you identified in the previous section. Consider how different a lesson feels when expectations are unclear compared to when they are explicit. In a classroom where the teacher simply asks students to begin without explanation, time is often lost, settling the group. In contrast, when the teacher clearly states the goal, the working method, and the time frame, students are more focused and confident about what to do next. The difference is not the teacher's personality, but the presence of structured management. This simple opening routine prevents many common issues in centers, including off-task behavior, low motivation, repeated instructions, and unnecessary stress for both students and teachers. When expectations are clear at the start, it becomes much easier to monitor progress and mentor students effectively later in the lesson. Now, turn your attention to Section 5 of the worksheet. You are asked to write a short 2 to 3 sentence opening that includes the learning goal, how students will work, and the time expectation. This should be written in your own teaching voice and should be something you can confidently and consistently use at the start of every lesson. Focus on clarity rather than perfection. Once you have completed this section of the worksheet, you are ready to move forward. In Section 6, we will shift our focus from managing the lesson to monitoring learning using evidence. Fantastic job on your opening routines. By setting those clear goals and timeframes in Section 5, you've already won half the battle of classroom management. But how do we know if that structure is actually turning into learning? That's where we move into Section 6, monitoring with evidence. Beyond the "are you okay?" In many classrooms, we tend to ask, "Are you doing all right?" or "Any questions?" The problem? Most students will just nod yes, even if they are stuck. At Eduseeds, we don't just ask, we look for evidence. The scenario: imagine you have a student, Leo, who just finished a self-test on fractions. Instead of just saying good job because he finished, you look at his module results or the work shown in his notebook. You see he nailed the addition but stumbled on the word problems. This is where your evidence sentence becomes a superpower. It shows the student you are actually paying attention to their specific growth. Your turn. It's time to find your own coaching voice. Think of a real student you've taught or a common topic in your subject. How can you frame their progress as a journey rather than just a score? Action item. Please head back to your worksheet and complete the evidence sentence in Section 6. Once you've written down a version that feels natural and encouraging to you, we'll move on to Section 7 to refine your coaching language. Great work on Section 6. Now that you've mastered how to monitor evidence through self-tests, let's talk about how we communicate those findings to keep students motivated. Hi there. Before we dive into our scripts, let's talk about why the way we speak matters so much. At Eduseeds, we use coaching language to shift students from passive receiving to active participation. Think of it like this. When a student just sits and listens to a teacher, they are in a passive state. Research shows they only retain about 5% to 10% of that information. But when we use coaching language, we trigger them to say and do. By asking a student to explain their logic, saying, and apply a solution, doing, their brain retention jumps to 90%. We aren't just giving them answers. We are physically changing how their brain stores the lesson. This is especially vital because many of our students face challenges like being poor readers or having low self-esteem. If we use high-pressure language, their brain freezes. But coaching language acts as a mental thermostat, keeping them in the learning zone. Let's look at a real-life scenario. Imagine a student named Sarah looks at a math problem and says, "I can't do this. It's too hard." Many teachers instinctively say, "Don't worry, it's easy." But think about it, to Sarah, it isn't easy. If we say it is, she might feel like she's failing at something simple, which hurts her confidence even more. Instead, try saying, "This is a new challenge that requires focus, and I know you have the tools to figure it out." Do you see the difference? You've acknowledged the challenge, validating her, but pointed her back to her own tools, activating her. Let's try another one. If Sarah makes a mistake, instead of saying, "You're wrong," which coaching line do you think would move her toward mastery? A. That's not the right answer. Look at the example again. B. I see your logic here, but something changed in this step. Let's look at that together. What do you think happened? If you chose B, you're exactly right. You are inviting her to say her reasoning, which pushes her into that 90% retention zone. Now please go to section 7 of your worksheet. You will see a table where we need to coaching-proof 3 common phrases. Use these examples to fill in your I will say column. 1. Instead of "you're wrong," try "I see your logic, but let's re-examine this step together." 2. Instead of "it's easy," try "this is a challenge, but I've seen you handle these tools before. Where should we start?" 3. Instead of just focus, try "what is the very next small step you need to complete? Show me that one thing." Finally, write down your 3 go-to coaching lines at the bottom of page 7. These should be your signature phrases that you feel comfortable using to keep students trying. Once you've filled those in, you're ready to move forward. Remember, a coach doesn't run the race for the athlete. They give the athlete the mindset to win it. Let's head to section 8. At Eduseeds, our 3M pedagogy defines a mentor as someone who supports academic, character, and social-emotional growth to ensure learning success. However, this is often the hardest habit for new educators to break because we are helpers by nature. We must remember our goal of mastery learning. Mastery means clarity, patience, and learning from mistakes before moving forward. When we rescue, by giving answers or shortcuts to stop a student's frustration, we actually remove that vital learning opportunity and stall their progress toward true mastery. Picture this. You are in a self-directed classroom where students are moving at their own pace. You see Wei staring at a blank screen for 10 minutes, while 5 other students are waiting for your help. You might be tempted to rescue him by saying, "The answer is 42. Just write that down so you can move to the next module." While this saves time, it only teaches Wei to be teacher dependent. Our mission is to empower learners, to be leaders. A mentor approach would be to use your stream thinking prompts. You might say, "I see you're stuck. Tell me your reasoning so far, and let's find the first step of the next part together." This ensures the student owns the aha moment and stays on the path to learning success. Now, please turn to section 8 of your worksheet. Reflect honestly on your rescuing habits. In the first column, write what you tend to say when you feel the urge to just give the answer. In the second column, write a mentor alternative that keeps the thinking responsibility on the student. Remember our "leave no one behind" pledge. We don't just move students through modules. We ensure they understand them. Once you have committed to your role as a mentor, we will apply these skills to the real-world center scenarios in section 9. Now that we've distinguished between mentoring and rescuing in section 8, it's time to see how these principles hold up in the fast-paced environment of an Eduseeds center. This brings us to section 9, center scenarios. Here, we apply our 4M pedagogy: manage, monitor, mentor, and mastery to 5 common situations you will face. Please turn to section 9 of your worksheet. For each case, I want you to write down exactly what you would do or say, keeping our mastery standard at the center of every response. First, consider a student who is discouraged after failing a test. Instead of just giving the answer, use your mentor skills. Explain that at Eduseeds, a mistake isn't a failure. It's just a data point. It shows us exactly what we need to practice next to reach that mastery goal. Second, when a student is upset over a low score, shift the focus to evidence by monitoring what they did master, highlight their successes first, then identify the specific gaps. Remind them that because we value mastery, we'll do some personal coaching before they attempt an alternate test. Third, for a student who is not participating, you need to manage the environment. Walk over and reset the expectations by restating the daily goal they set in the GSS and the time remaining. Remind them that consistent effort is the only path to mastery. Fourth, in a session with mixed levels, lean on your managed structure. In our self-directed, blended classroom, your role is to ensure every student knows their individual task. This allows you to circulate effectively, ensuring no one is left behind, regardless of their grade level. Finally, if a parent asks why their child isn't moving faster, provide a mastery-based explanation. Clarify that we require a 70 to 80% mastery score, because a solid foundation now prevents a wall of confusion later. We aren't just finishing books. We are ensuring they truly learn. Go ahead and draft those reflections in Section 9 now. Once you're done, we'll move to Section 10 to focus specifically on how to communicate these standards to parents. Now that we've mastered the classroom scenarios in Section 9, we need to bridge the gap between what happens in the center and what parents see at home. This brings us to Section 10, the Parent Communication Standard. At Eduseeds, we don't just report grades, we communicate learning success. Many parents are used to a one-size-fits-all system where speed is the only metric. Our job is to show them the value of our mastery standard, which requires a score of 70 to 80% before a student can progress. In Section 10, expand your mastery explanation. Don't just say, "We focus on mastery." Explain why. For example, we focus on mastery because research shows that without a solid foundation, students only retain a small fraction of what they learn. By ensuring your child truly understands the material now, we are preventing the wall of confusion that leads to needless errors and lost confidence later. This builds professional trust. It shows you aren't just watching the clock. You are tracking their child's specific growth with the goal-setting system to ensure no one is left behind. Finally, let's move to Section 11. My first week commitment. This is where your training becomes a professional promise to your students. We want you to pick one high-impact habit for each of the 4 M's. For manage, your commitment should focus on structure. Will you ensure every student sets their daily goals in the GSS during the first 5 minutes? This simple routine guarantees that the session is productive and self-directed. For monitor, your habit is about evidence. Commit to checking their activity books daily for physical proof of comprehension before they ever touch a module test. Remember, we monitor to ensure learning success, not just to tick a box. For mentor, commit to your coaching language. In your first week, replace "you're wrong" with "tell me your reasoning." This builds the character and social-emotional resilience our mission is built upon. And for mastery, commit to the standard. Promise that you will never rescue a student by giving them the answer, but instead, you will mentor them through the productive struggle until they reach that 70% threshold. Complete these commitments now and sign your certification declaration. By doing so, you aren't just a teacher, you are an Eduseeds educator equipped to empower the leaders of tomorrow. Congratulations on completing your Level 1 training. I look forward to seeing your commitment in action in the center.